This game takes place in a vile metropolis. It features monsters made of sacrificed flesh, and most importantly, it features one hell of a gun. A Gunbrella. Hello everybody, welcome to GG Files. This is Toad Knight, and I'm here to talk about one of my most anticipated games of September, Gunbrella. Gunbrella is a upcoming Metroidvania developed by Doinksoft, the same people who brought us Gato Roboto, a Metroidvania that came out in 2019. And it's being published by Devolver Digital, which I've had a lot of trust in Devolver Digital over the last few years. I really respect what they've been putting out, and Doinksoft came out with Gato Roboto, which I did play back in 2019. This one is shaping up to be a very good Metroidvania. The story starts out with your character having a dream of the past. You were camping in the woods, and on your arrival home, you notice there was blood all over your house. You pull out your trusty Gunbrella, and you walk into the house, and you find your significant other lying there on the floor, covered in blood, and you fall to your knees crying. The scene cuts, and you're being wakened from your dream on a boat, and this is where the game begins. Now, right off the bat, with that opening cutscene, you realize that this is going to be a darker, grittier game about revenge. And this is what I love about it. Even though you're wielding an umbrella that's also a gun, and the game's called Gunbrella, there is going to be some comedy in there, but overall the story's going to be gritty, it's going to be a little bit harder, and it's just going to be more of a story about revenge and some more darker themes. And that's what I really like about the story so far, from what I played of the demo. Now, as the game begins, your character is confused. He wants answers as to why his significant other has been murdered. So by boat, he heads over to the mainland. And the first thing you need to do in the game is get to a city called Orwell. As you reach Orwell, you notice something is going on in the town. The mayor has been kidnapped, along with a woman named Goldenrod. Now, this is inconvenient to you because you need to pass through Orwell to get to the next city, but because the mayor has been kidnapped, the city is on lockdown and you can't get in or out, and they're waiting for the mayor to return safely. So you need to save the mayor in order to progress through the story. And this is where the plot really thickens. When you're going to save the mayor, you realize he's being kidnapped by what looks like a ruffian gang. But really, once you get more into their story and you get deeper into their secret hideout where they're holding the mayor, you can tell there's something mystical about them. Some of them are using telepathy, and some of them are shooting blue blasts out of their palms. They're not just a regular gang of ruffians, they have a mystical element to them. And once you get deeper in the hideout, you realize this magic is coming from a much more diabolical place. In the deepest parts of their hideout, you follow two gang members, and in it, they sacrifice this lady to what they're calling the baby. And they say that someone named Mother is telling him to sacrifice people to baby to help it grow. You have no idea what's going on, but you see a bunch of flesh and dead bodies in the background, and it's just dark and gruesome, and God, I love it. It's fantastic. I love that the storyline took this kind of turn. When you reach the final room in the hideout, you think you're going to be fighting the first boss battle in the game, and you fight these two lackeys. One has magic and the other has a gun, and they're stronger than most of the lackeys, but once you defeat them, something crazy happens. Their bodies get absorbed into this giant flesh ball, and it becomes alive, and this is the true first boss of the game, the child. Now, the child is a giant ball of flesh. It looks like everything they've sacrificed, their bodies have kind of formed into one giant ball, and it's got these two giant legs that string around the arena, and you have to shoot this giant flesh ball with a giant eyeball in the middle as it bounces around the stage, and you try not to get hit. Luckily, the movement in this game is very good, very smooth. You can use your Gunbrella to jump around the map. Your Gunbrella has a few different combat options. It has the shotgun, which has unlimited ammo. It has the machine gun, which shoots a farther distance. And then it also has the ability to throw a grenade. This makes the combat very versatile and very dynamic. And with his movement abilities, being able to dart around the map, the combat is very fun in this game. And initially, even though the story's gritty and dark and just really good, the combat is what actually sold me on the game initially. I love the movement in this Metroidvania. It feels very smooth, it feels very good, and you're flying around the stage in these boss battles with your Gunbrella kind of propelling you to each side of the stage and dodging boss mechanics, and you can also use your umbrella to block hits, which is very nice in certain situations where you know you're about to get hit and you can't get out of the way in time. Your Gunbrella also can deflect attacks. It is very versatile. I mean, honestly, they did a great job making a Gunbrella and adding that into the combat. Now in a Metroidvania, I feel like we can gather a lot of information from a first boss fight. Now this boss fight, I tanked a lot of hits. I wasn't really paying attention to dodging the mechanics. I was just kind of having fun shooting the boss and casually beating the boss fight. Now this tells us a few things. One, there's a lot of narrative elements to this game, so this game's probably going to have most of its focus on the narrative aspect. And two, it doesn't seem like the boss fights are going to be that difficult. Normally in a harder Metroidvania, the first boss fight really comes in and packs a punch. And it looks like the boss fights are going to be a little bit weaker in this game, but you're going to have an easier time going through the story and enjoying every little aspect of the story. And before this boss fight were a lot of side quests. There's a ton of different side quests that you do before reaching this point. And so it's definitely going to have more of a narrative kind of RPG focus to it, where you do side quests and there's the main mission and there's just all these other things you're going to have to figure out about the world. There's tons of lore in the game. There's tons of books to open. And by no means is this going to be a Metroidvania that probably breaks you, where you want to break down and cry and you hate yourself. It's going to be more of one where you just enjoy your time, get deep into the story, read every little bit of lore, and figure out who killed your significant other. That's what we're all here for. Now, after the first boss fight is where the demo's coming to a close. You defeat the boss, and after you defeat the boss, these flesh monsters awaken, which in the game, I think they're called ghouls, if I remember correctly, where they chase you around and there's no end to them. They're totally taking over the hideout you're in, and they chase you down, and you gotta shoot them before they get to you. And while you're running through the hideout, you have to run back and save the mayor and save Goldenrod. But when you go to save Goldenrod, you get her out of her cell. And right when you get her out of her cell, a giant flesh beast comes down and stomps her and bites her in half. And you lose Goldenrod in the battle and you have to run away. Luckily, you end up saving the mayor and you get the mayor out in time. But you do lose Goldenrod. There's a few other side quests you can complete in the demo, in the hideout. Go do all your tasks you need to do. Get out of the hideout. The ghouls stop chasing you. And the flesh beasts and the ghouls stop chasing you. You end up saving the mayor, and you're able to get to the next town, but this is where the demo ends. From playing the demo myself, I can say I definitely love the game so far. The storyline's great, the gameplay feels solid, everything feels smooth about it, and I'm very excited for this one to come out on September 13th. That's it for me, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, you know all that jazz. You've seen a YouTube video before, but yeah, thanks for watching. I'm really excited for Gunbrella. I'm definitely going to play it maybe day one when it comes out. I'm hoping it's going to be longer than 10 hours, and I hope it gets harder. I'm not going to put the game in hard. I like to play all games on normal difficulty, but I am really excited for this one. I love a good Metroidvania, and this is what it seems to be from the demo, a good Metroidvania, and I'm very excited for it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Toad Knight signing off.